are the reviews of Connecticut's most hated reviewer. And today, I'm at Millwrights Restaurant in Simsbury. And this review I'm about to read is just the beginning. Rule number 1, I must attempt to debunk all of Ken's reviews. Rule number 2, I must share at least 3 5-star photos. And trust me, Simsbury has one of the best views in the state of Connecticut. So the photos are going to be pretty legendary. And rule number 3, I must hide this $100 Millrights gift card inside this geocache right here in town. If you don't know what a geocache is, it's basically a real life treasure hunt. This business has restaurant in its name, but good luck trying to eat here. Virtually every time I come here to eat, someone gives me a very patronizing excuse as to why this so-called restaurant can't serve me food. Oh, and I read the owner's response, and it appears Ken continually shows up when they're closed. I'm just gonna go see what happens when I show up if they're closed. FYI, they are a dinner-only restaurant. My guess is that Ken likes breakfast.
Wednesday, 5 p.m. to close. Thursday, 5 p.m. to close. Saturday, 5 p.m. to close. Millwrights.
I'll just look at the hour. I guess he's right there. If you show up before they're open, they won't feed you. But this isn't even what makes this review special. It's when the owner tells me to look into Ken's other reviews that grab my attention. So I did what anyone would do in this situation. I immediately made a reservation for the next day, after 5 p.m. of course. And when I got inside, it was more beautiful than I expected. Everything was so perfect. All the details from the nice wooden tables to the plants and the decorations were perfect. And the best part of all, when you're making a reservation, you can request any seat you want, unless your name is Ken. So I made a reservation to take a look at Ken's other reviews, and they definitely get more and more wild every time. He's literally banned from like 2 locations in a 30-mile radius. All right, let's debunk review number 1. Staff incapable and rude? No. No.
No, I was actually just here because I was reading a funny review from some dude named Ken, and I was just like messing around.
Let me tell you, reviews are hilarious.
He still eats here though?
No, I've never seen him.
He's never actually eaten
The
here.
funny thing is he read?
You know you're special when the entire restaurant staff knows exactly who you are. And it's crazy because Ken hasn't even eaten here, but he continuously leaves the same review every single week.
Overpriced? Not really. The tables here alone really warrant that price. It's not even more expensive than Mill on the River in South Windsor, so thank you very much.
Let's just say the food was absolutely incredible. I'm definitely going to say this one's debunked for sure.
Debunked. All 3 are 100% debunked, but 5 out of 5 stars.
Now that we debunked that, it's time to head to the next location, and you're never going to guess where I'm headed. Next victim is the Simsbury Public Library. I'll never donate another book. Never. They are unbelievably lazy and unhelpful people at the library. They just phone it in. It's a typical office-like environment where no one goes above and beyond for others. They also didn't help me get to the poetry section. I'm not even going to read this whole thing. It's so long. Who the heck reviews a library, seriously? Especially someone who's an award-winning author. Ken wrote several books, and I confirmed this on Amazon. I found this out from a hilarious 4-star review he left on his tax person. Check this review out. Apparently, the librarians didn't want to help him bring some boxes of donations inside. Well, I'm kind of starting to think they just don't like Ken. Maybe he walked in and did his Ken thing that he always does. Let's go see how mean these librarians are and see if they'll help me find the poetry section. I just have a few things to test today. If they're going to help me get to the poetry section, and if the librarians are as mean as Ken says.
Hey, you know what the poetry section is? No, just looking for poetry.
That was really awkward. That's not really a question I would normally ask.
Oh, this will be good enough. Perfect. Thank you so much. Shakespeare, yeah, that's the kind of stuff.
Right past the poetry section was a sign saying it was the quiet zone. So while I looked for Ken's books, I couldn't make much noise. I looked all around. I looked in the self-help section since he wrote a book about ADHD. I looked for authors with his last name. I couldn't find anything.
I'm in the quiet zone, but I can't find any of Ken's books. I did get right to the poetry section the second I walked in. I found Shakespeare right away. This is a really nice library. Okay, I think I'm out of the quiet section now. Nope, back to the quiet section. There's actually somebody sleeping in here. 5 out of 5 stars. Simsbury Public Library. Ken was wrong again, guys. Only a few of the librarians looked at me weird, but they were very nice and helped me. It was totally not what Ken said, but I think it's time to leave now. I totally felt weird going to the children's library. They were looking at me really hard. I'm totally going to bring the kids back one day and check it out. That way I'll be allowed in there. I just feel like it's one of those unwritten rules, like you're not allowed in the children's library without children.
After the library, I went about 3 minutes down the road back to Millrights to try to get another photo. Since it was the middle of the day, I wouldn't call this my best work, but regardless, I still think it's a 5-star photo. I wish I could have just gotten a long exposure, but I guess I'll have to come back at sunrise for something like that again.
Totally worth coming back.
Here's the first 5-star photo of the video. Maybe this is even where I'm gonna hide the geocache. But it's not time for that yet. But now I think it's time for a little afternoon pick-me-up. And that just works out perfectly because Ken's next review... Who the heck takes time to review a Starbucks? They're literally all exactly the same. I'm glad he did though, because I could probably use one of these overpriced delicious coffees right now. I asked the barista with shrapnel and graffiti to please turn off what I called noise and she called music, so I could concentrate on what I was doing in peace and quiet. She refused. As usual with all Starbucks coffee shops, humans weren't the only guests. A big black fly continued invading my territory. Management never gets rid of flies or annoying noise, music. This particular store was also too hot. I sincerely doubt the AC was on. 1 star. I guess I'm gonna go test the ambient temperature of the room and see what kind of music they're playing in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a coffee and test this one out. You could barely hear the music in here, to be honest. It's like perfect temperature. Filthy chairs, tables and floors, garbage can overflowing, dark-haired cafe worker gossiping about me to the red-haired cafe worker because she doesn't like my political beliefs. $5 for a hot drink is a lot to pay for a very unpleasant atmosphere, but it's part and parcel to the American cafe experience these days. Wait a minute, this isn't even a Barnes & Noble review at all. It's another Starbucks. Do not shop here, verbally and physically abused by an orange-haired employee. When I defended myself and complained to management and the corporate office, management called the Canton police and had me trespassed from the store. Do not shop here. And then he wrote an update. I reviewed a Canton police officer's body cam regarding the aforementioned assault perpetrated by the orange-haired B&N employee. She lied to the officer as to what happened. She characterized me as the attacker when in fact she was the individual who purposely slammed into my 61-year-old arthritic shoulder. I merely pushed her away in self-defense. Her B&N co-worker also lied to the police officer when she stated I'd been banned from the store on a previous occasion. The truth is that on the previous occasion I left on my own accord due to the manager's threat to call the police because I was defending myself and another patron from a barrage of verbal assaults while discussing a political matter. This manager completely ignored the attackers due to her obvious political bias. Footnote, I was in no way interested in engaging with these attackers, but they simply wouldn't stop trying to berate me for having a civil conversation with a like-minded patron. Again, do not shop here. It's not a welcoming environment. 1 star. We actually noticed the lady was cleaning while we were there, and I didn't even see a single item of trash. So this one was super easy to debunk.
5 out of 5 stars. Starbucks, Barnes & Noble, whatever we want to call it. Now we're going to our next location, and nobody's going to guess where I'm headed next. And I mean nobody.
Price combined with the most free services, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
You see what I just did there? Let's sum this one up real quick. It took 90 minutes to change my tire and terrible atmosphere. And since I don't need tires, I'm just gonna go test the atmosphere. This is gonna be a little awkward because I really have no reason to go inside right now. I'm gonna get some like tire valve caps. I have no idea. Maybe. You guys have any tire valve caps? By chance?
Valve caps? How many do you need?
4.
Silver?
Black is good.
All right.
Is it free?
Of course.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. Hey, man. Score. I'm winning today, man. Yo, I just scored 4 valve caps for 5 out of 5 stars to Town Fair Tire in Avon. Great atmosphere. That's another one off the list, man.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air.
Hello. You guys have any cake pops? Oh, no, I'm okay. Thank you so much. Wow. There's literally only one comfy seat. Ken was not wrong. Ken was not wrong about the comfy seats. There's only one in there. But, all right, let's go to the next location. Guess where Ken went next?
Cold popcorn, freezing theater, no heat whatsoever. It's hard to watch a movie when you're cold. Let's test that.
Not gonna lie, the popcorn, it was a little cold. I think Ken was right about one review this entire video, but it's not cold inside here. That's for sure. Just cold popcorn.
Grumpy as you ought to go to games with.
Now there's only one more review before our grand finale. Let's go. We're at Han Asian Cuisine in Granby, Connecticut. We're about to test another one of Ken's negative reviews.
I'm just gonna sum this up real quick. Ken wanted to order sweet and sour pork, but they didn't have it on their menu, so they wouldn't serve it to him. He ended up enjoying the sweet and sour chicken instead, but he still gave it a 1
We just
star.
ordered a bunch of sushi and chicken, and we're about to go inside and bring it home and rate it out of 5 stars.
No, that's okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. 5 out of 5 for the egg roll. I'm gonna rate the rest of this real quick. And then tomorrow we're going back to Simsbury to finish this up. 5 out of 5 to Han Asian cuisine for sure.
And I saved the best review for last, because right after we're done with it, we're gonna go hide this geocache, and I'm gonna share the coordinates and tell you exactly where it is. And if you're watching this video, you have an extremely high chance to find it, because I'm not releasing this as an official geocache for 2 weeks after the release of the video.
Ooh, what do you think? This rock wall? Should I hide it here?
I wish I could give this church fewer stars, but unfortunately, this forum won't allow that. I was verbally assaulted after a sermon for discussing biblical issues with a church attendee who had summoned me to a quiet table. I'm just gonna take a guess Ken was discussing political matters at church again. And you would think the review ends here, but it doesn't. It just keeps getting better. I was rudely confronted by 2 church attendees who evicted me from the church. One member's upper torso, part of God's temple, was completely covered with graffiti, tattoos, in case you didn't know. Something that's extremely anti-Christian, as God instructs us to take care of and honor the vessels he created. We should not defile God's creations. I've never seen people spray paint any other temple such as church buildings, so why would a person desecrate his body? So it's ironic that this tattooed church member, who the pastor allows to be the frontman of his church's rock band so that he may exhibit his blatant disrespect for God's word to all, aggressively booted me from the Pastor Clark God's church. The church also allows women to speak during sermons, which is also against God's word. What? But then I kept reading and found something absolutely hilarious that I can't get out of my head. Members also said that I exhibited odd behavior, which included making strange movements while the church's exceedingly loud rock band played in front of me prior to Clark's sermons. I think most people would call those odd movements dancing. Maybe I'm just a bad dancer. May God forgive me. Don't judge me. I used AI to generate a video of somebody dancing oddly in church, and this is what came up. And it's exactly how I pictured Ken. Only I don't think Ken can warp into different people. You're telling me you got evicted for dancing, Ken? I'm done here. Let's go hide this geocache and wrap this up. Here I am at Memorial Park in Simsbury, my final location of the video, and I'm gonna find a place to hide the rock right here, and then I'm gonna share the coordinates. This rock has the Millrights gift card inside, and it actually just works out perfectly because there's the Millwrights sign behind me. I had no idea that was gonna be here, but kind of ironic. Let's go. Follow me. All right, where are we going? Make sure nobody's looking around. Nobody's here. I think I'm gonna go right behind this fence right here. I think I found a spot. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. I think that blends in. I put a little bit of mud on top of it to blend it in. Yeah, I think we found a good spot to leave this. I think it's good right there. It is my very first geocache. I'm gonna label it on the app in about 2 weeks, but here are the coordinates. If you're watching this video, you'll easily be able to find this because you can see the landmarks right behind me. And when I post this online, I'm gonna give the exact coordinates, but I'm not gonna post it for 2 weeks. So if you're watching this video and you're one of the first few to watch this video in Simsbury or anywhere around this area, you're gonna find exactly where this geocache is. If you wanna see all the beauty New England has to offer, or if you like videos like this, subscribe because I have a lot more coming. Good luck on the geocache. And until next time, peace.